Oh, welcome back to Silage 17. The rain has stopped, the sun is about to come out, and we've still got most of the field to go. That's okay, we're just gonna zip through this. Well, at least the rain has stopped and the sun is shining, so we'll have a nice clear afternoon. Get this thing done. There's no two ways about it. Harvesting corn this way, 1 or 2 rows at a time. It takes a little bit of time. But there's a real joy in it too, and you know, if you like the act of actually farming, this is a great time of year. This is when your crops are coming in and you're starting to feel like the year's work has been worth it. So that'll make up for any amount of long days when you're actually earning all of a sudden. Not that we're particularly going to earn off this crop, but you know, if our cows are well fed and well taken care of through the winter and into next year, there's a certain amount of reward to that. Okay, let's try another route this time. If there's one thing I think I did wrong, it's I don't think I picked the right field for silage. Of all the crops I'm planting, this is the one that needs the most carting. I mean, other than the bales of hay and stuff like that. But, yeah. Maybe next year we'll do the silage on top of the mountain. That little back field actually should be where we were mowing grass. Should be tons for this exercise. But the good news is, any extra silage we get, we will be able to sell. I like the length of those silage pits. They're just the perfect length for this size of trailer. I can just open it up and just step on the gas and it gives me one stripe every time. Pretty handy. The beauty of Farm Sim, well, one of the beauties of Farm Sim is that, yeah, you can go out and you can get, 100-acre fields and big tractor trailers and massive machines and do fundamentally the same exercise of harvesting and carting and harvesting and carting. I don't know if it's more fun or less fun. It's just a question of personal taste. I like small gear. I like stuff that, I can play in single player and get a job done. So for me, this whole thing of, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on machinery and hundreds of thousands of dollars on fields just to be able to do the same exercise as you can do with just little tiny equipment and small tractors and small trailers. I don't know if it's more fun or less fun. It's just different. I get a lot of joy just from the doing of the farming, and I find that the small tractors and the small gear are just a lot more of a hands-on approach. Personal choice. All right, let's see here. Let's go to dump this. A little bit more towards the end here, if at all possible. Great. And I'll just take a moment here and hop out. So we have 110,000 liters of chaff. It's only 4% compacted, but I'm not too concerned about that. We'll get that done tonight. So I figure by the end of this, we'll probably have 150, 160,000. So 160,000, if you divide that by 4,000, which is the weight of a bale, you end up with the equivalent of 40 big bales. Now, 40 big bales should be more than enough to look after 50 cows for a year. That's my guess anyway. We'll see if I'm right. Well, that field is quickly disappearing. The shadows are getting longer. So we are going to get it done today. But I think the compaction and the closing of the silo will probably happen after dark. That's all right. I was expecting this to be a super long day. But we will get it done. Not a problem. They're announcing more rain for tomorrow. So if that comes to pass, the wheat will be out. But I think I'm going to go and pick up my harvester anyway, so that as soon as it dries out after the rains, because usually it rains in the morning, so if I can get it to dry out by the afternoon, we can harvest it in the afternoon. Then we'll have a sunny day the next day to do the straw. Should be okay, because once the harvester's gone through, picking up all the swaths of straw is fairly easy. Pretty happy with how that little forage harvester's worked out. And of course, none of this would be possible without our trusty helper, Jenny, here. She's been absolutely amazing this year. Whenever necessary, she's been there for me. And done an absolutely bang-up job at whatever I've given her. Although I'm not sure how much more work I have for her. I think I can single-hand the grain harvest for sure. We will see. Well, looks like we're going to need one more trip up to the top with this to get it all done. And then this job will be done for the year, which is pretty exciting. Of course, doing this for a couple of hours, our traffic's now all bunched up, which I know drives Jerry absolutely crazy, but meh, just a bit of traffic. Yeah, just in time too. It feels like we're going to lose our light soon. So we'll just put Jenny back in this tractor for one last time. And I think I'm going to bring her back with me for tonight so that I'll do the leveling with the front loader and she can do the compaction with the big tractor. We're not quite done yet. Oh, one stock. I hate that. Well, forget it. We're done. So let's just let's go this way. Okay. We'll just get the shop to come and pick it up from here. Okay. So she can wait here for me for a moment. Just gonna unload this. And just like that, we have 163,000 liters of silage, well, of chaff, which will turn into silage. So I'm just going to bring this back to the main barn. Gonna need to give her a good cleaning. But for now, she's done for the day. Okay. Oh, we left that there this morning. Huh, okay. Well, we'll put that back. Good. Okay, let's go flatten stuff out a little bit, and then we'll just run the big tractor back and forth, and we'll get it all done. Yeah, no point in wasting fuel on that one. Okie dokie, Kramer time. You guys know how much I love my Kramer. Oh, look, listen to that. Quietness after a day of grinding on those cases. Does feel nice. Okay, so let's just flatten this out a little bit here. If you use one of these buckets and you just dip it in, it kind of half fills, and then you can just push it off to the side. Works pretty good. The trick with compacting is always not to try to bite into too much of the pile. Even if you're using the compacting blade, just try to sort of level it by staying a little bit ahead on top of it. Kramer is also excellent for this because it's so maneuverable. You can almost turn it around inside the silo. So when it comes to spreading stuff from side to side and just leveling it out just perfectly, I really have a hard time finding a better tool. For this size of operation anyway. I mean, if you're one of those people who likes, Farm Sim 15 style silage collection, of course this is way too small. But you could sort of go through the same technique using a full-size loader, like a full-size, what do you call them? Yeah, loaders. And just quickly level things out, nice and peacefully. Takes no time at all. I do find silage blades to be utterly annoying, in that they do tend to dig in too much and they create too big a pit, and then you end up having to bounce your way through it, and you end up with this weird oscillation in them that's not the easiest to compensate for. Whereas this, it's almost surgical. Once you find the right level, the bucket picks up stuff and then it drops stuff in the holes. See, this is a lower part. It'll drop it in there, no problem. Pick up from the high points, drop in the low points. I'm not adjusting, now that I've found the perfect height for my bucket, I'm not adjusting it at all. It's just staying exactly in that position and going back and forth and leveling things out. Now, I'm going to run this for you in real time because People always get so frustrated with this process because they're in a bit of a hurry, and I find that hurrying when it comes to this stuff, it just doesn't pay off. So the only other thing that you got to be careful about when you're packing up a pit like this is your edges. You got to make sure that you don't go too far outside the pit. Now it looks like Jerry's got his ground collisions right on this one, and I'm not going to have to do too much adjusting of that part of it. Generally speaking, if you've got all your collisions right, you shouldn't have anything sticking out outside the tarp. It should be just easy peasy. There you go. Okay, so I think I got a few little bits there that I can't get to, so let's just empty out the bucket. Go and take it from the other side. Yeah, I see. As soon as I did that, the compaction on this side spilled the content. So I got to clean that up before I go any further. Should be easy enough. Just scrape it up, load it in. Okay, that's not bad. So I'm just going to set Jenny off to do the compaction, because right now, if I do it with the little machine, like we are at 39%. That's not bad at all. But this is the heaviest machine I have. So for compaction, it's often better for you to grab the heaviest thing you got and throw it on there. So let me just give her some instructions and we'll be done. Okay, so as she goes through this, she's pounding it, she's compacting it down. We're already at 44%. So she's going to go back and forth on this for a little while. When she's done, I will, of course, have to clean off the edges again to make sure I don't have any overlap back there. But, yeah, it should be easy peasy. We're at 45% now. She's probably got an hour's worth of work to do to get it to speed. We got a beautiful sunset. Look at that, eh? And yeah, so I'm going to leave you guys here. Tomorrow's another day. If we're lucky, oh yeah, we should go check this, by the way. So this field here is at 85% growth. So I'm assuming that tomorrow morning, first thing, it'll be ready to rock and roll. Now, if you look at the forecast may not cooperate with my plans, but I'm guessing it's not going to rain all day, and that once the sun comes out, it will dry it out. Either way, we've got all of Monday of beautiful sunshine to do the hay, and then after that, the only field we have left is our soybean field. So I would say we are in really good shape. So thanks for joining me. I know this was a bit of a long one with all the work we did, but you know, it was a long day of silage. And we'll see you in the morning for our next adventures. Have a good night.